Abortion is not the answer to education. Abortion is not the answer. Life is the answer.
A woman shouldn't have a death sentence imposed on her because her birth control failed.
More protests today at the state capitol as lawmakers gathered for the second time during the ongoing special session. You can find everything you need to know about the bills up for discussion by scanning the QR code right at the bottom of your screen.
Tonight, the latest on the legislation to introduce new restrictions on abortion access in the state of Indiana. WRTV's Kayla Molander has been following today's discussions, which have again drawn passionate debate from both sides of this issue. Kayla.
Good evening, Mark and Nicole. Yes, today a Senate committee voted to add more restrictions to a bill that would already severely limit abortions here in the Hoosier State. Tensions were high on both sides since the bill in its current form doesn't seem to make anyone happy.
But you're going to traumatize them again. At 16 years old.
Emotions were running high at the State House Tuesday as senators debated the details of its abortion bill. Senator Greg Taylor left the room crying after talking about his sister's unplanned pregnancy at the age of 16. Other people shared their stories during hours of public testimony.
I thought that abortion was the solution to my problem, when in reality, it only compounded my original issues.
I would be very afraid to have had that life-threatening pregnancy in a state that doesn't recognize me as a full, independent, autonomous person.
The Senate bill originally banned abortion except for rape, incest, life of the mother, or if the fetus wouldn't survive outside the womb. But today, new restrictions were up for debate, including a timeline on the rape exemption. Some expressed concerns about whether this was enough time for victims.
Do they know they're pregnant? Do most people know they're pregnant after 8 weeks?
16 should know.
A 16-year-old should know?
16-year-old should know that things aren't going the way they thought.
Those on the other side also weren't happy, saying that the bill doesn't go far enough.
Not only should we be prosecuting the assassins going forward, but we should be charging the ones that are practicing their dark arts in the here and now with crimes against humanity.
Ultimately, the committee added additional restrictions to the bill. Someone under the age of 16 will have 12 weeks to seek an abortion. 16 and older will be capped at 8 weeks. Performing an unlawful abortion will be a felony rather than a misdemeanor. The affidavit rape victims will be required to sign will now be included in their permanent medical record. And doctors will be required to report any abortion performed because the fetus won't survive. But all of these could change as the bill enters next steps.
It's important that we move forward. For many, the current law is far too broad, and we've been asked to address those issues, and we will.
Working for you, Kayla Molander, WRTV.
As for what's coming next, the vote today sends the bill to the full Senate for debate. That will not happen until Thursday, and the bill could change even more by Friday when the Senate plans to vote on whether or not to send the bill to the House. Mark?
Kayla, thank you. Governor Holcomb originally called the special session to address inflation relief. Lawmakers in the House and Senate have each put forth bills to address the financial strain in different ways. House Bill 1001 would give Hoosier taxpayers an automatic $225 refund. Tax-exempt residents would have to file an affidavit. This proposal is supported by the governor. Senate Bill 3 does not give a refund to Hoosiers, but would cap the gas tax at 29.5 cents per gallon until June of 2023. It would also suspend the sales tax on residential utilities for 6 months. WRTV asked a local economist which bill he feels would benefit Hoosiers the most.
The Senate bill is a much better policy than the House bill. You know, limiting the pain at the pump for Hoosiers is a much more prudent step than a stimulus payment at a time of high inflation, and it targets the problem.
Today, House Bill 1001 passed out of the House Ways and Means Committee with a 22-0 vote. A second reading is expected to take place on Thursday in the full House. If the Senate bill passes out of committee, the full Senate will meet on Thursday and Friday for additional readings and a final vote. WRTV is bringing you full coverage of the special session. You can find updates and watch live on our website and through the WRTV app.